So this is like a TBR slash recommendation slash we shall try and see kind of video with a specific like subgenre. Hello world, what's up? I hope you're good. So today is a very specific video. I was not planning on filming it, but I was on some winter sprints, so reading sprints, and I was talking about the fact that I made a list of all these books that I wanted to get to eventually, and the winter pack was like, yeah, make it a video. So here I am. So I mean, I should maybe explain it. You probably know that I have mentioned several times in the past few years, past couple of years or year or whatever, that I discovered a new favorite subgenre, or what I think will be a favorite subgenre, and it is cosmic horror. So if you have read Annihilation and loved it, or if you have read The Hollow Places and loved it, or on the books that I'm gonna mention, you might be into cosmic horror. Let's read the description of that subgenre. So cosmic horror, aka Lovecraftian horror, is a subgenre of horror fiction and weird fiction that emphasizes the horror of the unknowable and incomprehensible more than gore or other elements of shock. So it is named after American author H.P. Lovecraft. So it's more about the creepiness of not knowing what's going on, about it's scary to not see what's actually killing people, to not see what's dangerous, to not see what is scary. And that's the whole atmosphere like you have in Annihilation with Area X or Area 10. People are getting in that area and they discover that many things have changed genetically and they don't understand what's going on, and there is a whole creepiness to it because there is no real explanation. They don't know what's going on, so they keep sending people there to discover the truth, and it's never gone well. So that's what it is, kinda. It's talking about something that you cannot explain, which is a weird concept, but I love it. So we talked just now about Annihilation, but this one is also part of that subgenre because there is something going on, but we never really get an explanation on what it is, how come, blah blah blah. But this one is also like a portal fantasy, so it is portal fantasy and cosmic horror. Absolutely adored it. This series, so Lock and Key, whether it's a TV show you watched on Netflix or other platforms, or the graphic novel that you have read, all 6 graphic novels are out there, and these are adult horror graphic novels that are also described as cosmic horror because you have that house with magical keys, and the keys always allow you to do something, to change something, to make something happen, whatever, but you don't really know where the keys are coming from, and there is some kind of danger behind it, and you don't really have a proper explanations on the origin of things or what could happen, what wrong or whatever. The graphic novels are way scarier or horror-ish, gore-ish than the TV show, of course, because TV show is more like family friendly, even though there are some things happening that you're just like, maybe not for kids. But this one is bloody as hell. Another book that I have read is Shape of Water. I have not watched the movie. I should watch the movie. I have it downstairs, but in French. And it's a book I really enjoyed, but it has been described, like online, it is described as cosmic horror, even though I'm not really sure if it fits that genre. Yeah, okay, what the creature is something that's unexplained, but I feel like it's more about like historical fantasy or historical something with something off from that world, because it's happening in that world in the past, but there is one element that cannot be explained, that's not like the life we know. So I'm not really sure if it can be categorized as cosmic horror. And that's also something that we noticed during sprints, is that sometimes you have a book described as here cosmic horror, or even it happens so often with magical realism. Apparently so many books have been described as magical realism, but they're actually not. So just be careful with all the subgenres, whatever. When you don't know, just say fantasy or sci-fi if you don't know the subgenre. But even Goodreads is not well known for that, to actually be correct about all the subgenres. So I'm gonna talk about a few books that were described as fitting in the cosmic horror subgenre, but as I have not read them, I don't actually know. So just take this video with a grain of salt, but it's also a video to show you the books that are on my TBR because I have an interest in them, because they are described as cosmic horror. Oh my gosh, this video is gonna be so long. I'm so sorry. These were all the books that I've read. So Annihilation, The Hollow Places, Lock and Key, and Ship of Water. Now I have 2 that I own physically that I'm gonna show you, and then we're gonna go on the rest of my TBR. If you watched my book haul, I don't know if my book haul is gonna go up before this one, whatever, but I mentioned this one, Echo by Thomas Oldehoven. So basically you have a couple of friends, they're going hiking and only one is coming back alive, and he was in a coma, I believe, and when he wakes up he realizes that something is not quite right. Something has changed in him, and here it says it's one thing to lose your life, it's another to lose your soul. So from that description you can actually see that it kind of fits the cosmic horror subgenre, because you have someone going on a hike or whatever, coming, and there is something that they cannot explain about themselves that has changed. And from here, the little synopsis that you have here, did they lose their soul? How come they lost their soul? Will we get any explanations or not regarding that? So I'm really intrigued. It is a well-known Dutch author. I had no idea. So I really am intrigued. I love the cover as well. So far it sounds like it's gonna be a cosmic horror. So let's find out by reading it when I get to it. Then another one that I own also sounds like it could be cosmic horror is this one. So it is The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher, and they are known, in my opinion, to write well cosmic horror. And basically you have a main character who's going to their like grandparents' house because they both died, I believe. Yeah, the grandmother just died, and so she's going there to actually check a little bit the house, to clean it, you know. Apparently her grandmother was a hoarder, so it's like a mess she has to go through. Then like she's going through the things and whatever, and she's gonna find her grandfather's journal, diary of some kind, and she reads it and find it very creepy because she has the impression that her grandfather was actually insane. Yeah, to be the ravings of a broken mind because something is going on. And then until she encounters some of the terrifying things he described herself. So I feel like it could be very into the genre, but knowing the author, yes, absolutely. It's very floppy, and I'll be reading it super soon. So, and look at the cover, it's also kind of creepy. The rest of the books are books that I don't own, that I found out about online. There is only one that I knew about, I feel like, previously, or 2 books that I knew before that was like a cosmic horror, and it is a Bird Box. So I've watched the movie. I have not read the book, but I would like to read the book and see how different it is. But it is about, like, it's not about cosmic horror, it is cosmic horror. Something is happening on her, they don't exactly know what it is, but they cannot open their eyes or something terrible will happen to them. So it is so creepy because you know something is bad and wants to kill you, wants to do something to you, but you cannot open your eyes to actually see what it is, because everyone who did open their eyes gone crazy and got killed and killed themselves or whatever. It is scary to know there is danger, but you cannot open your eyes. You know, when you're scared, you want to hide, but you still want to keep your eyes open and see what's going on to stay safe and to help yourself, you know what I mean? So it's really creepy. So I want to get to that one, and I heard many people who have read it who did say that it was good and enjoyed it, so I want to give it a try as well. Then we have another book that I don't own, but that was actually, I feel like, mentioned in this one or mentioned in reviews of this one, and it is The Willows by Algernon Blackwood, and it is described as purely Lovecraftian horror, so it has to be like a cosmic horror. I just generally don't know what exactly it is about, but it was compared to this one, or this one was actually compared to that one when I read some reviews. From what I know, it is a short story, and basically you have 2 friends on a canoe, or canoe, I don't know how you say that, canoe, and they are on a river, and everything around them is actually threatening to them, and apparently they never see what it is exactly, but there are the willows who are moving and kind of following them, whatever. So I can see why people mentioned it when reviewing this one because of many things happening in it. So I'm definitely intrigued to see and to read it and to actually make the connection. That's a book that I have seen around, but I never connected it to cosmic horror with the descriptions that I got from people who have read it. And it is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. From what I know, like every city has a soul and every city was a point of view in the story of some kind, in some way. I don't really know more about it. I know a lot of people actually enjoyed it and were quite surprised reading that story. Okay, so I've only saw some cities are okay, some cities are not, whatever, and they have like 5 protectors, but there is something beneath that is threatening them. So I don't know more, but please, if you have read it, would you describe it as cosmic horror or not? I'm curious. Of course, you cannot go and talk and make a video about like cosmic horror if you don't mention anything by H.P. Lovecraft. And the one that was recommended a few times was actually The Call of Cthulhu, which I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the cover is going to be over here. And I mean, if I'm gonna try more cosmic horror, I should actually read one by Lovecraft, and I feel like that's the one I want to pick up. It has like other stories within that book, which is a classic book as well. It is considered classic, obviously. So I don't exactly know what it is about, and I feel like I want to get into it without knowing more. But it is 100%. I mean, it was created by the creator of that subgenre. So I wanna give it a try. I'm just gonna read you that little bit. This collection spans Lovecraft's literary career and shows the development of his cosmicist philosophy, the belief that behind the veil of our blinkered everyday lives lies another reality, too terrible for the human mind to comprehend. In stories written in the Gothic tradition, narrators recount their descent into madness and despair. Through their investigations into the unexplained, they tug at the thin threads that separate our world from another of indescribable horror. I need it. I need it like yesterday. Then we have The Gone World by Tom Swetherlich. From the synopsis, it's not giving me cosmic horror vibes, but it's giving me like some sci-fi-ish because there is like some time travel going on, and also some people said that it could be compared to dark matter in some way. It's also described as Inception meets True Detective in the science fiction thriller of spellbinding tension and sizzling scope that follows a special agent into a savage murder case with grave implications for the fate of mankind. So maybe yes, maybe no, but I'm not sure. It was in the list of cosmic horror, but that's one that's not giving me that vibe. It's giving me like really sci-fi fiction, mystery, thrillery kind of like vibe. Horror maybe, but I'm not sure cosmic horror, so why not? I mean, I'm gonna give it a try eventually and see if I will still do it. I will let you know if any of the books that I'm reading it, like I should maybe do a react video to this video and see if they were actually cosmic horror or not. Again, I'm not a specialist, but from my point of view, it would be interesting to see if I still classify those books in that subgenre or not. Then we have The Night Will Find Us by Matthew Lyons. I really do love the cover, and apparently this one, the rating is not that high, but it hasn't been rated that many times. It came out in 2020, and it is basically described as like 6 teenagers who are trying to survive the horror, like humans and supernatural, that they are going through, and apparently they are stuck in a forest that's never ending, that keeps growing, and there are things in it, very dangerous and cruel things. Those things are waiting for the teenagers and have plans for them. So I don't know if those are just creatures, if it's a little bit like the Willows with all the trees and the surrounding being a threat to the humankind. It sounds like it could be a cosmic horror here. So this sentence: as they plumb the depth of this forest that has seemingly swallowed them whole, haunted by ghosts, figurative and literal, they come to understand the nature of the ancient cosmic horror that lies dead and dreaming in a lake in the center of the woods. As one among them is transformed through his own desperation into an agent of this dread, formless horror, the ones that remain must fight back to survive as they explore the dead towns and endless sprawls of trees, rivers, and campgrounds deep in the barrens. Yeah, and I do love the covers, so it is definitely a yes. Okay, so this one is Beyond the Kiosk Gate, and it is described as Lovecraftian horror, so it's definitely one that should fit it. And it says here, beyond the Kiosk Gate, darkness and light blend into a weave of evil deception. The small community of Holden was in an uproar at the discovery that an entire family had been murdered. So apparently there is some kind of investigation, but maybe like the truth is more horrific than just humans killing other humans or whatever. But there is apparently also a serial killer that's running, and that's like going from one small town to another. So maybe that's actually the only explanation that there is, but we know that's not what it is. Otherwise it would not be a cosmic horror, unless the, okay, I'm not gonna go into series right now. I believe like that killer, serial killer, is more than just human, or is not human at all, and that they're gonna follow the clues and whatever. So I reckon it is 100% like cosmic horror. Came out in 2017 and was only rated 18 times. So I'm really curious to see and give that author a try. That's another one by Lovecraft that was actually recommended, and it is Shadows of Carcosa. So Tales of Cosmic Horror by Lovecraft, Chambers, Machen, Poe, and other masters of the weird. So it's like a compilation of, I would say, like short stories. So I want to try it, and I do really love the cover, even though it's creepy as hell. It's so creepy. Then The Fisherman by John Langan is also something that feels really interesting. I'm not sure if it's really cosmic horror or not, or whatever. It's basically the story of Ave and then two widowers who have found solace in each other's company and a shared passion for fishing. And they're like, kind of when they hear like a rumor of something going on in the creek, and someone making like dreams or like wishes come true of some kind of whatever, and actually don't really pay attention to it until they do pay attention to it, and they go on that hunt, or maybe they just find out about it because they go fishing a little bit further, or because they are in the woods or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna read and discover it. And they actually discover and realizes that in order to get what they lost, they will have to make some pact, or it's darker than I thought it would be, etc., because they're actually gonna meet the fisherman, the entity that makes everything possible. I don't know if it's human, if it's something else, if they're gonna see it or not. So I have hopes for that book. Even though it's not giving me those horror, cosmic horror vibe, it still sounds intriguing. And the last one that is also on my TBR is At the Mountains of Madness, yes, by H.P. Lovecraft as well. And that's the last one I'm going to mention because I don't actually know if there are that many cosmic horror books out there, or books that are officially part of that subgenre or whatever. If you have read any that you feel like fit that subgenre, please let me know, because I will be curious to discover more, especially if there are nowadays books and authors trying to fit in with that subgenre. I'm really curious. This is something that I discovered recently that I really enjoy, so I would really love to discover more. So I will see you in a few months, a year, I don't know, whatever. I'm done, or pretty much done with that TBR, to let you know if it was cosmic horror and what I would recommend. But yeah, so far I would recommend Lock and Key, The Hollow Places, and Shape of Water, even though I'm not sure it is really cosmic horror. Or even Annihilation. And Annihilation, I will continue with that series because I want to see what's going on. I'm not sure it's following exactly what happened in the first one. I feel like they're more like companion novels than actually part of the same series, but I'm still very much curious. But yeah, well, so again, if you've read anything that might fit that, please, like subgenre, please let me know down below. I would really appreciate it. But also let me know what is one of your favorite subgenre. Like mine are portal fantasy, cosmic horror, polar fantasy. I love political, like high epic fantasy, the found lost family kind of trope as well, but that's a trope, that's not really like a subgenre or whatever. But yeah, let me know that. But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack. Talk to me in the comment section as usual, and until next time, take care, wolves. Bye.